You can do it, XSplit. You can do it, buddy. Greetings and happy Halloween. Welcome to Die Dragon Die presents the Enter the Dungeon campaign episode 19, the Halloween edition that my players have been looking so much forward to, like they do every single year. I'm your DM and host, Marty, joined by the full Ontario crew, Ahmed, Adam, and Mark. How is everyone doing on this fine spooky?
If anybody particularly remembers what happened in Legends was the last prime example of a Halloween campaign. The other good one, I believe Sam died from the Halloween adventure in Grand Bhaali Circus.
Yeah.
By ghouls.
Was it the ghoul hole? Yeah.
I think the ghoul hole was the Halloween adventure. Azulden being the biggest, just take the campaign and go, whee! was Legends, because the Halloween adventure.
That was...
Halloween was good. We had, it was torrential rain and 10 degrees Celsius, which is bloody cold for those in America land. That's like 45 Fahrenheit. 45 Fahrenheit and raining. So I only had 240 kids or so at my place.
Right.
Because powered by sugar.
240. That's a lot of kids.
Yes.
You must be in a young family neighborhood.
Yes.
I had zero.
I had zero as well. Of course, I've got the most unfriendly front door. It's this weird gate, and no one's quite certain if it's actually a home. And then I don't put out a mat because I don't mind it being advertised as not actually a home. There's like a couple of leaves, like lonely leaves, just swirling around.
The pizza guy knows how to get to you.
I've trained the pizza guys.
It was funny. We actually had a portly, short-ish postal worker in a rain poncho showed up to deliver registered mail during the middle of the thing, and I was trying to give him candy, and he's like, "Mail, it's good costume, man. Here's some candy." It says, Canada Post. Oh, you need me to sign the thing? Oh, okay. You want candy?
This is very convincing, young man.
Very good job.
He's probably like, this is the third time today.
The other highlight in terms of best costume award was a father-daughter duo, where the daughter, who was maybe 4, was dressed as Pennywise and had a red balloon clown, and then the father was dressed up as Billy. In the rain poncho with a little bit of blood and the missing hand. Yeah.
These are the characters from It.
These are the characters from It. Yes.
Billy. You have to say it that way, Billy. Billy. All right, Mark, what's going on with you?
I just finished a run of day shifts, so 48 hours in 4 days.
Nice.
Yeah.
48 hours, 4 days. Yeah, that's pretty tired. Ahmed is a chair. Or Ahmed's a minute.
Ahmed's here.
Yep.
Ahmed is here. So happy Halloween.
Did you utilize your kids to collect candy from the neighborhood families?
I sent them out in the rain. Give me some goddamn candy. Not cashed in, indeed.
How many different costumes did you get them so they could go and redo the houses?
Are you one of those parents? You're like, oh, full candy bar. Must be a razor blade. Give me that.
Oh, you can't eat this, kid. It's bad for you. They're too young to eat this.
Too much at once. Too much.
Too much sugar.
You know what? When my daughter, there's 1 year, I think it was school was almost ended. It was March break. No, it was March break. And I told her, okay, it's March break, just clean up your whole room. And I was kind of doing an inspection, and I opened up this drawer, thinking I'm going to find all sorts of crap just piled in there. She still had Halloween candy left over. I'm like, no, you can't keep it this long.
6 months shelf life is pushing it a little bit.
Yeah,
this goes into the distribute to next year's kids
Oh, gross.
It's when the cheap white or the cheap dark chocolate starts turning white, as you know that is.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
Huh.
I ate half of the candy waiting for the damn kids. I had the same rain Adam had.
Yeah, my kids don't. Kids here, they don't give a fuck. You see, your neighborhood's too swanky. My neighborhood, people need candy, need free candy. Go get it. Go get free candy.
No,
Go
my-
get it.
I had maybe 10 kids show up. I ate twice that in candy. Easy.
All right, why don't we do a recap of what happened last game? Game number 18 was called Smoke Them Out. The party ventures down to level 2 and encounters a Hydra, an owlbear, trolls, and the priests of the Fire Temple. Alkur finds his own skull, which may have an invisible rune upon it, denoting to whom he belongs. The leaders of the air and water temples send emissaries and gifts to the new curate of Earth, Bone Crusher.
We missed. There's gotta be something about getting the party nuked by fireballs. It was.
The party captures a guard of the Greater Temple who answers some of their questions. Well, you fought. You gotta watch. It's called Smoke Them Out. You ran into the ran into the Fire Temple.
If you want to watch the party just being like, oh, we're so smart, and then like, oh, we're not smart. Oh, we're not smart. Oh, the smartness. That's not us. Oh god.
Oh, the pain. Healer.
It was this long hallway of doom.
Well, it's like the fireballs. You look at the book and they're like, they don't do that much damage. It'll be fine. And then they both roll damn near max. It's not fine.
No, and we were in fireball formation. Like the geniuses we are.
Yep.
I think so. You guys ended up charming and coercing a minotaur by the name of Lure Keenhorn into one of the cells. He answered some of your questions about the Greater Temple and what had gone on, or what is in the temple itself. Darian apparently is very good at threatening violence.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Do it because I said so. Also, I'm shiny. Did you see I'm shiny?
Ptolemy, maybe they have respect for Knights of Epoch, or at least one that is wielding the fiery blade of the Fire Temple. I think Alkur right now is wearing not just the Fire Temple robes, but he's wearing the prelate's
Amulet of
robes
Earth.
and the Amulet of Earth, and then Darian's wielding the fiery blade, and then Bone Crusher is wearing the Earth Curate robe.
Darian's the fire marshal now.
Right. As each of the factions that at least worship or are aligned with one of the major elemental planes seems to have its own iconography as well as their own titles and special magic items. And you guys have kind of romper stomped the leadership of two of these temples, the Earth Temple and the Fire Temple, which then led to the Air and Water Temple sending gifts. And one of the gifts was a bowl that in sometime in the next 24 hours will compulse the person who touches it to drink the liquid inside. Or the other gift was a magic arrow with beautiful with beautiful dimensional fletching.
That theoretically returns.
That theoretically returns.
Yep.
How many times around does it return?
You have not fired it yet, so you don't know.
We don't know.
I was going to, but then people started diplomancing everybody. I was like, fuck.
All right, so you guys are on the first level, just outside of the prison cell. Where are you headed next?
Well, we're going to need to take care of that army on tomorrow, is my guess.
They wouldn't have returned yet, you're right.
So why don't we, while they're kind of focused over there, trying to, pick up the land.
From the north.
Oh,
Take those spiral stairs, head down.
Oh, they had a sweet in the back and it tastes good. Why don't we go down that other stair and sort of get him from behind?
How close are we to the Minotaur?
You're standing outside the door to the prison cell.
Yeah, right. Let's just go fuck out of here. Let's get out of here, guys. Okay, cool. Let's step out of earshot from El Minotaur. I am waiting for map tools to load. Yay!
Okay, you're standing outside the jail cells that once held zombies.
The zombies, okay.
Their bodies are still rotting inside the jail cells.
What do we do with the Minotaur?
Asks Crusher.
Well, Darian told him to stay put, and he did say that he would stay there for a couple of days.
Then what?
Then we'll have to
Are
make.
we delaying the orc situation that I had earlier?
Possibly, but your orcs. Possibly, but your orcs didn't know fucking nothing.
True. Right. Valid you are. We'll keep them around then.
Yeah, valid I am.
For now.
I appreciate your validation of my validity.
Will you fuckers just get it over with and make out already?
Who feels extra heroic, Marty?
Oh yeah. You get one of each.
One of each.
So there's an extra somewheres. Somewhere in the dungeon.
All right, so I'm gonna post a sound clip that while you guys were standing around and chatting about what your plans are, you start to hear emanating in 3 big blasts from the bowels of the temple.
Oh, it's got
Shit.
it's got irritable bowel syndrome.
Can you hear none?
There are 3 blasts that emanate, and it's hard to tell exactly where they're from, but standing in this hallway, it does sound like down. Although you do hear it echoing from also behind you, kind of like... you might not have that much knowledge in sound acoustics, but it sounds like it's coming from all over the place.
Knowledge
And down.
engineering! Fluid mechanics?
Okay.
Thanks. Guess nature or survival to help pinpoint the sound.
It is coming from down.
Identify.
Down.
How about identify
Down.
the sound?
You also now hear the distant sound of drumming.
Is that also from down?
Is that from down as well?
Yep.
Sounds like a.
I think we got it. I think we got to go. I believe it's time to go.
Go where? Leave?
I believe fucking out.
We could.
All right, let's grab the civilians. Get out of here.
All right.
This
So,
and I'll be coming.
so you guys are now beelining back towards where your civilians are. Okay, takes you a few moments there. You on your way back here, you can hear the distant sound of drumming is also emanating from kind of this end of the temple as well. And you heard a few like guttural shouts.
Language.
Bugbears, maybe gnolls, but it sounds like there's lots of movement. You get the sense that like the temple's waking up almost.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, you aggroed the dungeon.
And you can still hear the drumming. Like somebody's down there going.
Remember when we were in the blue alley? Thank
Yep.
you, Gomez, by the way. And they
problem.
went level 2.
Yes.
The three horns. A few moments later, by the time that you get back to your peasant brigade of save people, the loud trumpeting happens again. Just the deep war horn being blown.
We are grabbing the people and getting the hell out of here.
Okay, the horn seemed to have woken everyone up. Even those with a bit of filth fever and ghoul fever still have gotten up. Steek is a bit agitated.
It is great horn.
Put on your pants, time to fucking go.
The leaders are gathering all the temples.
Are they now?
Yes, we need to go outside. Well, that's where everyone's going to go.
They're going to go outside.
Yes.
They're gonna go through here to go outside.
3 blast. Yes, everyone go outside. Well, not everyone, but I wonder why. What day is today?
Army stomping day.
I
Oh,
don't
okay.
know.
Yeah, Moyle's Day or something like that. You're like, plus you guys have been sleeping and like not by the.
Would it be Fiend's Day in this place?
No, it is in the middle of summer. I think we did keep track of days. For
Burning
a while.
Hell Day.
Journal.
We've got, I think we got like just by season, right? It's season and then number, right?
Yeah, this is summer 43. It's around summer 45, which means it's halfway through summer, which means it's the longest day.
Some of 43, some of 44, some of 45, somewhere in there.
We should get the hell out of here before they all come up.
Nearing the longest day.
Yes, there might be celebration because it is longest day, and after that, it is the rule of darkness.
What do you mean by that?
Less chatting, more getting the fuck out of here.
Get your shit, let's go.
All right, so you gather up everyone. They're kind of coughing and wheezing, and they're looking for you to lead. You, at this point in time, you being Oscar and Shadow, can hear people starting to head up the stairs.
Alright, fuck. Alright, plan B. Shut the fuck up. Close the door. Shut the fuck up.
All right, you're pushing everyone.
we
You're pushing
wouldn't be
everyone.
able
Pushing
We're not
everyone
gonna be
back in.
able to- We're not going to be able to run with them.
Shut the fuck up, too. we're gonna stealth. We're gonna hide.
All right, so you guys are going all kind of pushing your way into the room, and you're gonna close the door. Is that the plan?
I think that's the plan.
Okay, so you shut the door. You hear the 3 blasts happen, maybe a 4th time with the drumming, and at this point, it sounds like, and perhaps from your vantage, from your knowledge of the temple so far, it sounds like the people who dwelled on level 2 are actually like walking through your area to leave the temple. You hear the sound of a lot of armed soldiers, meat, some goblin sounds, some maybe ogre sounds.
Just deal with them all at the same time, then. Quicker that way.
Let me just grab.
Fucking nuts.
Let me just grab the
No more
people.
answers from you.
Let me just grab the folks from the various temples.
Dangerous.
Are any of you sneaking out of your room?
We're thinking about it. We'll wait for Mark to come.
Yeah, let's see what we're gonna do. So weird shit's happening, Mark.
Already?
All the temples are going upside for a celebration.
Yeah,
Big
it's the
horn.
longest day of summer, and was it a drum? The horn was blown 3 times. A few times that happened. Which what's his name?
It was
the
3
little
blows and then a delay, then a 4th blow, and we were going to get all the people out of here, but we were too slow, and now a bunch of soldiers and shit from the lower levels are marching through our territory, and we're all hiding in the closet.
Okay, so
we weren't able to get out.
the first wave of soldiers sounds like a mixture of goblinoid and giants. You actually hear one giant going, "Hey! Hey! Earth Temple! Get your costumes! Pumpkinseed!"
What's a pumpkin seed? Asking Steek.
Don't know. I was not here for this one.
Do you remember seeing
Were
costumes?
there any pumpkins?
No, you dumbass! It's not just Pumpkinseed. The circus is here. Hey, Earth Temple, circus here.
I think we should address this
All right.
and play our best hand through it.
You're the curate.
Oscar's
Right.
gonna-
He looks
Oscar,
a shadow.
The
Keep your-
representative of the curate.
Okay. Yeah, you could see,
Keep your arrows near.
you could see two gluttonous-looking ogres. You could hear like armored creatures and like this almost revelrous like yipping and yapping from goblinoids and.
Are they wearing tunics or symbols or?
These two ogres are wearing it looks like water temple symbols. If we want to remember what the water temple looks like.
I'm just picturing some festival where they like kill humans with pumpkins somehow in festive ways, and then have
Just
like
drown him.
pumpkin spiced human stew.
So it is the blue circle with the deeper blue square in it. They've got blue tunics on. They're kind of ratty and filthy as you'd expect tunics on ogres to be.
Hey, Earth Temple, where's Earth Temple? Maybe they're already out there. But we're told to get. Hey, there's one.
Watch your tongue, Water Temple.
We
Also, Oscar, like to the side. Fuck are you guys?
Yeah, I'm coming. Hold on.
Hey,
Get out here.
Who dares to raise their voice in my temple?
hey, Earth Temple.
That's better.
We told by Water Temple priest to come get you. It's Pumpkinseed time. It's not just Pumpkinseed though. The circus is here.
Put those stupid human costumes on.
Yeah,
Let's go.
get your costumes. Didn't they have masks last time? I don't remember. Maybe. Yeah, get your masks.
Do we remember masks anywhere in this fucking temple?
Water Temple,
He probably knows the name.
Belsorig want to speak to you. Remember, Pumpkinseed means truce.
Of course.
Yeah. So get your... Come on, we're gonna be late for the eating contest.
Alright, this is starting to sound like it might be fun. Don't tell Darian I said that.
Those of you who wish to partake, we're going to need more than just 3 to represent the Earth Temple.
From the sound of it, you're guessing at least half a dozen giant creatures and perhaps 20 or more man-sized creatures have left what you believe, given the timing, level 2. You are still hearing drumming from down below, but there is a slight pause in the exodus from the temple.
Oh, we could just go kill everything and wait for the next crowd.
Or we could wait for the temple to empty, sack it.
And go deeper. Or no, call me crazy here. I want to see what the circus is.
Well, you could always just split the party.
How
That
about
always
this?
works out well.
We can do a 3-way split. Some of us can go attack the people upstairs. Some of the people can go party with the people upstairs. And some people can go deeper into the dungeon. And one guy can stay with the peasants just to see what happens there.
I don't have to read. I don't have to make the deadly encounters. You'll make them yourselves. All right, so there's still drumming. There's still the sound of drumming and possibly movement, but they're not like flooding the upper floor yet. It sounded like a lot of them left via these stairs and these stairs.
All right.
And then
How hard would it be to quickly fashion like makeshift masks? Or
Do we remember any masks here at all? I think we've logged everything and there wasn't any, right?
I've got one. Darian's
Darian has a mask. You could definitely turn bags into hoods if you wanted to wear like burlap sack kind of hoods or whatever. Look like what was the character in
Rorschach.
Yeah, Rorschach. Yeah.
You spray some ink on it. Rorschach. Yes.
You can definitely in a short order create those. Then there's what to do with all the peasants. Steek already looks like a goblin. He's wearing a mushroom for a hat. You're pretty sure he fits
He'll
in.
just get along just fine. Or we could leave the peasants down here till after the circus.
That's probably the best.
Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh, I want to go to the circus. Although I feel a lot of dread leaving my temple all empty like this.
My lord,
Yes, Squire.
perhaps you shouldn't refer to the evil temple as your temple.
Well, if you just leave the evil part out of it, it's the temple of elemental Ptolemy.
Here's here's the problem, my lord. Other people aren't leaving the evil out.
Oh, we'll fix that. Why do you think we're here, Squire? Does anyone tell him anything? Can we go to the circus? He asked Darian.
Yes. We can go to the circus.
Crusher looks at Oscar and whispers like, "What if the circus brings something that?" Then he like kind of points at the paladin, "Will cause an issue."
Oh
I
no.
can keep it.
Fair
in mind.
warning, if this eating contest is what I'm scared it is, there's gonna be a fight.
Don't go unarmed.
I have an extra hand if anyone wants it, and he pulls up the weird fungus
Please put
multi-finger.
that away.
Okay. I'll put you.
Actually, you might
I'll
wanna
put this
put it on
right
your
beside Squish. And one of the things I forgot I did was I created a token for Squish. I actually found
Some weird squirrel fish taxidermy thing.
a fish squirrel taxidermy. There's Squish.
What?
Squish now has a token.
There we go.
Right next to Squish. he's got
What the hell?
that's what Squish looks like. And then the taxidermied hand, I believe, has a token. Let me-
A picture already.
yeah.
Fuck.
That is
Goddamn internet.
It was like right in the
I'm
first
fairly
line.
certain that came from somebody who didn't have the internet.
That's where all the good things happened. Pre-internets.
They call it a feral.
Yeah, there's
Or
the
a
many,
fish monk,
there's
I
the
don't know.
many-fingered hand.
So Ptolemy's ready to go. Alkur is going to put his fire hood up and look menacing. And he's apparently representing Fire Temple. I am Fire Temple now.
Can Shadow with a what would he wants to make like a wolf mask using like some leather or fur and a couple of arrows as
We have a wolf right here.
I know. No.
Do you have
thought
any?
about it.
Do you have any wolf pieces or pelts or anything?
We do have some pelts, I think. 'Cause
Yeah.
We got Oscar around. I'm gonna have to run out to the.
He has a skill in lore tanning. That or survival, whatever.
Okay, I'm just going to move the people from level 2 out into the Temple of Exterior, just to avoid that for a moment, but I'm just going to... There's all the level 2 folks.
We didn't find any paints here, did we?
There were general supplies in some closets. There were some pigments that were likely in that alchemy
cave
lab.
bear hide, which we might be able to make a bear mask with.
All right. If we have that, Crusher's gonna look for a bear mask. He feels inclined to get a bear mask for some reason.
Okay, so out of the cave bear, you're going to make a cave bear mask. Who is doing the craft check for that?
Shadow
Probably
can.
Alkur.
We've got a lot of things we're gonna craft in a very short period of time.
Darian is just like using blood to paint a happy face on a burlap bag and then poking holes in it with a knife. I'm a gelatinous ooze.
That's Krieger.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Say
Yeah,
that again.
Krieger,
Sorry, sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I was gathering up
Oh,
folk from different levels to figure out how
Darian's just doing the burlap bag thing, but he's like putting a happy face with blood on it and poking holes in it with a knife.
many. Okay.
Who's he giving that to?
Himself.
Krieger, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Krieger is doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, Krieger's doing that. I don't know why I said Darian twice.
Right. That's why I was getting more confused.
The voice gave it. The voice gave it away. I knew what you meant.
Haha, I'm a knight of Epoch.
I'm an Epoch. Isn't that scary? Isn't this the thing of your nightmares?
All right, you can
Oh,
hear.
we have a hollowed out large wasp head. Who wants to go as a bug? Who wants to go as a bug?
Shadow's
Come on,
trying to
Shadow.
do. Shadow's trying to do a
Shadow.
wolf mask for himself.
Shadow.
Crusher is trying to get the bear mask for himself.
Okay,
All right.
you hear a lot more. You can hear some drumming. It is not all of the drumming, but it appears that there are multiple drummers. This congregation of creatures seems to be a lot heavier than the last one. You are guessing that there are at least a dozen, if not more, giantish creatures that are exiting. By the timing of their arrival to this level, you're guessing that they came from a deeper level. There are some goblinoid sounds amongst this, as well as a Shadow ends up picking out what sound like a mixture of wolf barking and people talking.
You gotta be shitting me. We missed one.
There's drumming. They don't necessarily address the Earth Temple, but I don't know if you guys are standing out in the hallway like you're doing right now with people filing past relatively close. Or if you're going to go sneak, take a peek.
I think we're prepping masks.
Okay.
Oscar's gonna go with the large wasp head. He's gonna just poke some holes in the.
All right. We want to put the.
Yes.
You want to put that on your token so I know what you look like. Bone Crusher. There's a craft check from Alkur as he's putting together a bear mask.
What's the result?
Give me a second.
It's taking so long, Alkur. Hurry it up.
I'm an elf. I don't hurry. I do things properly. 36.
Yeah, it's a
Where's the mask? Oh my god!
it is a very hastily sewn but serviceable mask.
I couldn't quite cure the leather in this amount of time, but it might smell a little bit. But I put a little perfume in, so.
Okay. Darian got a 19 on his burlap bag.
Darian or Krieger?
Oh, so, fuck. Krieger. I don't know why. Krieger.
A 19's pretty good. It's a serviceable bag. It looks the way you wanted it.
I'm a freaking tailor. Work hard.
What am I going to wear, or should I wear anything? Ptolemy, I think, carries a scarf. Maybe you could tie the scarf around his face. I think he carries a scarf. His silk handkerchief. He has a dancing scarf. So he wants Alkur to tie a pretty knot around his face and kind of make a what is it called? What is that?
Japanese one or like the Arabic one?
The Arabic one.
What's the scarf for like when you use an airsoft?
Schmog?
Schmog. Yep. Yeah. You basically tie a schmog around Ptolemy's head with the fancy purple scarf that he has that I keep on forgetting for him to use. He can dance in combat and become concealed until the next turn. It's like he does streamer dance, and then it's like, where did he go? All right, so he's wearing the schmog. Shadow is wearing what?
Shadow was gonna be putting on either a
He's trying to make something.
he's
look
trying to
like
make it
wolf
like
mask.
a wolf mask, yeah.
He's trying to paint a wolf face with a burlap sack.
But now, well, no, he's gonna use some furs and the arrows is like to put the arrows together and make a frame.
Okay, give me a craft check.
Can I do a survival or a tanning? I don't know.
Nope. Craft.
All right then, crafting it. Oh, I do have a decent craft. Look at that. 22.
Okay, it actually looks canine, and you use the arrow tips to stick up ear flaps,
teeth.
and Doom just kind of cocks his head at you and looks at you while you're doing it. Alkur is
I had a faster way of doing it,
just-
but I didn't choose it.
has just got the fiery mantle
He's got fiery wheats up.
Okay,
You
and
know what? His costume is he's pretending he's of the fire temple.
and then you've got the Mask of the Conqueror, Darian.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys finish your masks as the second group of temple denizens have exited the building. And I'm going to paste them into the temple exterior.
Oh lord, you don't let there be more.
You can still hear drumming in the deep.
Ah shit. Well, why?
Is the drumming less?
The
or is
drumming's less, but it sounds like there's a break in the action.
Let's make our way.
Let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here.
Up we go.
Okay, you guys are heading up. Just the party, not the
No,
captors.
they're supposed to hide until this is over, because
All right,
or
well,
we bring them up and sacrifice them to the fell gods.
You're better, not I. Healthy sacrifice.
it's really up. It's really up to you. I mean,
There's no right and wrong.
If that fourth dimension door was a spell that we could actually use to like move other people around, they would be just be dimension dooring them like to the way.
Yeah.
Middle of the woods, they could live in a log. This is your log.
It's better than what you had before.
all right. Well, there are some denizens that are lingering in the main floor of the temple. There are two-headed creatures. Let me just move them there. That seem to be controlling the flow of traffic.
Move along, move along, move along, move along.
Main floor.
Yep.
Okay.
There's one on one side and one on the other. Well, four heads in total. And then you also see two heavily dressed, like very fancily dressed humanoids that you suspect are the leaders of the air and water temple. And let's get those guys back from the exterior. First, I gotta find them. One is quite ghoulish in nature and is flanked by four devilish-looking gargoyles. And then the other one is doesn't seem to require bodyguards, and he is head to toe in weird plumage of some distant culture. Where is the cannon of air? There we go. Perfect. All right. And then near the front doors, there is a hill giant rifling through a bag looking for something in a panic. So let's get the leaders of the air and water temple, and then you can see a hill giant, and you get the sense that there's a large crowd outside.
Alright, I need to step away for a second because apparently the can of soup that my wife is trying to get is too high on the shelf, and I'm in trouble for putting the soup too high for her reach.
Adam, you're only supposed to do that with candy.
That's funny. All right, the large fish face looking man is smoking a cigar, and then there's this really ostentatious man in this very feathery outfit that are talking to each other, but the feathery man sort of head nods towards your group as you come around the corner, and the fish face guy turns around. The Ettins are like, keep on moving, it's Earth Temple.
They look different. Yeah.
Oh, these guys look really fucking weird.
Yeah.
Can't find it! Oh no! He's digging through this bag and taking out stuff, and some of it's like grim and some of it's just functional, that being the giant. Alright, well, Crusher, given that you are the Earth Curate, what are you doing?
Hey, keep on moving.
Yeah. He takes lead.
Huh?
You bastards better follow.
Yeah, we're all following.
Yeah, there we go. Oops.
We just shout imposter and run away.
Where the hell is he? There he is. Hey, yeah, so Crusher takes these guys. Do these guys have...
Oh,
do I
these guys are
recognize them?
these guys are looking right at you. This one is wearing some very, very fancy scaled tunic that has the symbol of the Earth Temple in the center of it, but it looks like the magic of the circle looks like it's kind of like flowing around in a circle, going in the Widdershins motion along his chest. He is smoking a cigar, which is weird. And then the big feathery guy, you could barely tell what race he is. You know he's at least humanoid from the really loud, ostentatious, feathery hat and strange other culture robe. He seems to be gliding, however, like he's barely touching the ground.
So, wind and water.
Who do we have here?
I am the crusher of bones.
He takes in a big whiff from his cigar, and like the smoke comes out of gills.
Oh, that guy's so awesome.
Yeah, that looks pretty bad.
The one that's drifting upon air seems to be the envy of the gargoyles as
Krieger wants his fishing equipment.
as he startles some of the gargoyles a moment by just floating over them and barely touches the ground before. It's almost like he can just kind of keep aloft by touching the ground every once in a while. He looks at all of you. He seems to square off against Crusher.
Let me introduce ourselves. I am Canon Belsorik of the Water Temple.
He kind of recoils from Alkur when Alkur took a step forward.
Hey, what mask do you have, Alkur? Oh, the
Alkur's wearing
fire.
a fire wreath.
Right. Right.
And I am Prefect Akelno of the Air Temple, the most supreme of elements. Let us not get into that cyclical argument again.
Yes. Remember the seed.
And you are the new prefect, are you?
That's correct.
Keep in mind that the three horns have gone off 4 times, one for each element. This is the greater temple calling. Our masters are calling. Earth Temple, Fire Temple. There is no open war. And our masters will be before us soon.
Oh, shit.
I am sure that they would like to meet the new prefect and the new curate of the Temple of Fire and the Temple of Earth, respectively.
Indeed.
An elf, huh?
Acknowledge nature. Or a cult, or what the fuck is that
salmon,
thing?
huh?
He's a salmon.
Mon Calamari.
Look, Squirrely, it's your cousin.
Nature, occult, arcane.
Which one are you thinking in context of?
I want to know what his species is.
Yeah, which one are you?
I think he's a fish man, so I'm thinking nature.
Okay, give me nature.
All right. 28.
He wasn't born a fish man, but he definitely got turned into one. This is a human that whose flesh has been corrupted.
You certainly have spent your time amongst water. Cannon.
In my perspective, it is the element that I am most comfortable in. While I do not mind smoke and a bit of fire now and then, it is the watery areas that are much more fun to swim in.
Admit when I spend too much time in the tub, I dislike the wrinkly fingers.
You'll get used to it.
I like this guy.
We just kind of see eye to eye. I guess sure, why not? He's a big happy fish guy. Just stop eating people.
Your temple has always been weak. It does not surprise me that new leadership is here. But
Who's he talking to?
You.
Crusher?
Yep, it's Crusher. Yes, the temple was weak.
But do tell me. You arrived here after your army left. Does your army follow you?
They will be.
I look forward to seeing you crushing the bones of your own followers.
I can crush the bones of my followers and yours easily.
We shall see. Perhaps you and I can continue this discussion after the truce.
And what is
After the circus. After the pumpkin seed.
That's right. Fuck your mom. The smartest thing he could come out with.
knowledge? I want to go nature again.
I'll go with
Or
that.
perception. Try
No,
to get
just
this
give me a
guy.
perception check first to see if you can even see anything out of him. He's like head to toe, not showing you any of his
He
skin.
is definitely playing the game of hide the thing. All right.
I can see your thing.
I
Perception.
can see your thing. 33.
There is something odd about the little bit of skin that you can see along his arms. While the token doesn't show it, it looks like his skin grew feathers, but he has plucked those feathers. So you can see the scarring along his forearms where feathers have been removed.
He's got chicken arms.
Yeah.
Maybe he's got fiendish chicken pox.
And-
Turn
and-
into a big chicken.
And you're thinking now that this was once a human that has, for some reason, started to develop avian features.
Is it possible that we misidentified the tiefling? And it might have been a human turned into a tief? 'Cause
Could be.
How about the dwarf? The dwarf that we smashed.
well, it's just a short fat guy.
I bet his bird bones break pretty easy.
Hey!
No problem. We can speak later.
No slack jawing, make way for Greater Temple! Greater Temple's coming, don't you know? I just said that!
The greatest temple is here already.
We should probably get out of the way.
Yeah, alright, let's get the fuck out of here.
Ah, curate, would you like to join us while we meet our masters? It is customary for us to wait in these hollowed halls when the masters call. The rest of your minions can go outside. I'm sure you've instructed them in ways of truce.
Please don't start a temple fight, because I'm the only guy with anything related to fire. Come on, guys. We'll be Team Lava. We'll be Lava Team.
Cannon Balsoric waves his gargoyles away, and they just simply fly up and kind of like latch on to some of the big pillars in this hall. This hill giant seems to be really flustered and like now is screaming that somebody took it. Somebody took it. His junk is all over the place, like he's emptied his bag and
Somebody took it.
What's he going on about?
Move along. Greater temple coming.
So where do these guys stand?
They're just standing off to the side, just waiting. They back up a little bit. But...
Maybe the rest of these jokers will just.
Hey, what you looking for?
Hey, do you know where the pixie doll?
Oscar, what are you doing over there?
I won a pixie doll at the last circus. It's not in here. Maybe she took it. She's always taking things now that she's come. She thinks she's so big. But she's only big when she's big, not big when she's small.
What's the name of this thief?
Huh? Hey,
Thief.
what are you doing in my head? You using magic on me?
No, just buzzing her around.
Leave, Oscar.
I'm gonna go all the way out to
You lucky truce. You lucky truce, or me make pixie puppet out of you. Temple.
What's his symbol?
He doesn't seem to have one.
Does he seem to have a gold, like big gold plate with a skull on it?
Nope.
Just
a dirty old hill giant.
Why are we all the way to the front door?
Because we're supposed to go inside.
Oh, okay, Oscar.
Yeah. You're supposed to leave. You're supposed to leave.
All right, so I'm gonna. Oops.
Nope.
Ooh.
Oh.
Did everybody get that?
Yep.
Yeah, still going.
Oh, I don't know.
It was mentioning that this seems to behave less stably than the last stable release.
Well, I'm gonna move you guys outside.
Which is the exterior.
Exterior. And you see that not only has the Earth Army returned, but they've returned. They've returned perhaps with, I don't know, maybe 100 townsfolk, wagons, supplies. There seem to be tents that are being set up, all outside of the entryway to the temple. You can see two groups definitely kind of sticking together. Maybe there's three groups. It's kind of like here's the water and air temple kind of all mixed, and then there's a group that are wearing more black than anything else.
The edge lords.
I want to buzz, motherfucker, so bad. Buzz, motherfucker. Oh, God. Remember when it was like, that's a lot of dudes, we shouldn't fight them? That's a lot of dudes. I kind of want to fight them, but they're not worth any XP is the thing, even though there's lots of them. Or they're worth like one or two each or something.
It's a hell of a story, though.
It is. They ruined the pumpkin seed. The thing is, Beelzebub and his minions are being summoned as we.
Alright, so are you guys just like nervously waiting for Crusher, or are you going marching out into the throngs of people and this veritable tent city that has been set up outside?
Question is what's his name? Alkur with Crusher, or is he outside as well? I thought he was the fire representative.
He's the fire guy.
Yep. So
he's in there.
he's in there.
All right. So yeah, as we were getting there, Crusher's just like, if anything happens, just go downstairs. We'll find out. We'll figure it out later.
Oh, I will. Don't mind me running away.
You see, They seem to have formed an alliance.
Yes, they don't know us yet, though. We're the oldest of the temple masters. You two seem to be replaced with every moon.
Well, the fire's been around for a while.
Yes, yes. But we've certainly extinguished them now, haven't we?
The hubris of the old fire priest was a bit of a problem.
Hubris, yes.
Just because you're willing to serve the temple does not mean the temple serves you.
Apparently his gods were layabouts.
The Earth Temple relies upon gods. Gods this. I guess they have to be a land power.
Oh, do you see gods around me?
No.
And he looks at his gargoyles and looks back at him.
The gargoyles, the air temple?
No, gargoyles seem to be water
Water.
temple.
Water temple is gargoyles?
They do have like little crustaceans and like little
They're air earth creatures if they were Pokemon
Barnacles?
saved.
they have little barnacles. They do have webbed feet and hands. They do have wings, but there's definitely a slight
motif.
water motif to them. Like they spend a lot of time underwater. The drumming's getting louder. Allow me to gather up the forces of doom.
The forces of evil.
Fuck, there's a lot of them. Remember, room by room, room by room.
Or bring all the rooms, stick them in one room, and then have a grand old melee. Now this would
All
be where
right.
if we could start an internal conflict. That would be nice.
Yeah, the bluff, having them believe that somebody else attacked would be great here.
How's your ability to lie?
Shut the fuck up.
That sounds like Alkur's.
It doesn't exist.
It sounds like Alkur.
Right.
So we just say things that are very factual.
The moon is high.
Indeed.
Where did you come from? It's cold out today.
Look
Good
at the
thing I've got
time.
this fire robe.
Yeah, good times.
You know, I think that's it. Oh no, there's a couple more stuck in this chamber. They'd come out to play.
Are we in the first level or
No, I'm gonna
Inform me?
copy pass it because you're watching them all leave. I'm gonna bring them to the
Main?
temple main floor. Let me
Right.
just-
They're
let
gonna
me-
be mad at us for not drinking the fungus.
Okay. First to leave is a line of bugbear brutes, which includes some sort of bugbear doom guard. These bugbears are tougher, are pretty tough looking. Then then a
What are they carrying for weapons?
the bugbear doom guard, heavy blades. The bugbear brutes are carrying a mishmash of weapons. They all have longbows. There's a quartet of trolls. No, make that a octet of trolls
Oh,
that come rambling out after the bugbears after they go outside. There
we know how to kill them now.
there are some. Who would be next? I think there's some drumming as a whole group of ogres. The four non-armored female ogres seem to be fawning over two of the ogres. One of them that definitely is a head taller and stronger than his peers. And then one that is wrapped in a strange war cloak. Let me focus in on him.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
His war cloak consists of like the banners, almost like an Eastern style banners, kind of behind him. but it's his cloak that worries you. His cloak looks like it's made out of liquid oil. Like I'm talking about like tar sand oil. And it's inky black, and you can't see the threads in the cloak, and it seems to kind of morph all around his back. There's something about this particular ogre, the one that's labeled Ogre Shaman, that unnerves you. The ogre boss goes by kind of like holding his head high, but the ogre shaman just does stop before the other temple, the temple folk, and he pauses for a moment as he looks down the line of the leaders, and he stares at Crusher and Alkur. He wanders forward.
How good lying is Crusher?
Mountain stance, motherfucker.
He kind of
No, I don't.
scoops up with one arm a bit of his cloak. It's still all attached, but he points it at Crusher, and you notice that Crusher's face comes out of the cloak and then disappears back in. The face was still kind of tarish. It's the face, however, of the bear hat you're wearing, I guess.
Cool.
And then he looks at Alkur, and then there's kind of like an impression of Alkur that forms on the cloak. It's almost like he's introducing the cloak to you.
Knowledge. Lore elemental evil temple for this cloak, or lore arcane for this cloak?
Knowledge warfare.
I want a knowledge arcane or a knowledge nature.
Thankfully, all of them are the same.
Yeah, I found that too, by the way, that whenever you have like skills that you use a lot, they're all like the same, so it doesn't matter.
21.
Yeah.
21. Yeah, this is definitely a cloak that is unholy to the temple of Zuggtmoy, the mother of fungi. It is probably a part living thing, part magic item.
Would it be similar to the hand that Ptolemy, like the same sort of like moving weird thing?
Give me a, what was the knowledge nature was 21, or is that arcana?
It'd be Arcana.
Okay, and then the knowledge nature?
19.
It is made from some sort of ooze, and you're guessing right now he might be teaching the ooze your face or your image for some purpose. He did not do that to Canon Belsorig or to Prefect Kelno.
He's already done it.
He's going to be T1000ing us in a minute here.
He then, with a snort, doesn't say anything to you, like you don't matter beyond that, kind of goes by and kicks at some of the hill giant's things. He's like, "Hey!" But then the hill giant like shirks away from the shaman, and the female ogres are smiling that their master evokes such fear. All right, well, there's still more things coming out of the deep. There is a trio of hill giants, and they're the ones that are drumming. They got these big pot drums as they're wandering out. They do see this one hill giant. He finishes gathering up his stuff and then just goes outside with them.
Musicians are not a threat, regardless of how big they are.
We haven't
Until
played
they
bard
put
yet.
you, until they put you in the drum and start smacking it.
Okay, a curious and very, very muscular orc woman is walking out with just a cadre of chattering, or like a group of chattering giants, trolls, ettins, and oh, there's the three black leather clad minotaurs that your minotaur guard had mentioned. Kelna Two-Fist stops when she sees Crusher. She kind of like acknowledges that there might have been a changeover. Crusher, you see that there's a pendant around her neck that you've seen before.
Flashbacks?
You remember being at a table when somebody was very carefully dealing cards from a deck? And the symbol that is on her pendant was the symbol on one of the cards that was dealt to you.
Symbol of the mountain.
Oh.
They go outside.
We took really, or at least I took really good notes for that campaign. I had a
Oh,
journal
yeah.
for what happened every single day.
That was
in
the
that
tarot
campaign.
card of the mountain man.
And then just a bunch of bugbears go running to catch up, like they were kind of late. This one Etten gets down on one knee and kind of bows as the next group of people begin to appear. And they're chatting amongst themselves. The first to go outside is sort of a like a very tightly robed man, followed by a heavily armored tiefling. They walk out. They just kind of nod to the Etten, and then they stand.
Got a honk around him.
Then they stand off to the side and wait. And then the two that walk out in the middle of like some private discussion is a very pale, very tall-looking man who's wearing like the robes of an archmagi.
Looks similar to somebody we remember.
And then an older priest with a white mustache and a very, very odd collection of divine implements from various gods. He is leaning on a staff and has some implements like that a hodgepodge of high priests of different religions might have contributed to.
Is it a wheelchair?
There's definitely a palpable aura of power coming off of these two individuals.
What did the like water guy and are they like?
Yep, they are both now kneeling.
We're just gonna follow suit. We're just gonna look at the floor.
Yep. We'll take a
We're just gonna
take a knee.
Where's
Yep.
my token there? We're just gonna
I shall speak to you later. Yeah, you can hear the man with a deep voice, sort of a commanding voice. The tall wizard.
Sure.
I shall go pay respects to our friend who runs the circus. I wonder if she's given in to murder.
Yeah, the Supreme Commander just chuckles, and he seems to head alone.
Well, what do we have here? New leadership.
We weren't aware of these changes.
I see. The two of you rise from the lower ranks, did you? I didn't even know their names.
We'll find out for you, Lord Wizard.
Yes. Take samples, as always. Oh, and find out if they've communed yet.
Your will is my command.
That guy's really intense. You need to dial it back a little bit. He's evil Darian.
And the Lord Wizard just sort of strides out, and you notice that, Lord Wizard, I've got a question for you. He does seem to be less, whoever Dagoom is much less concerned with the new leadership, and goes,
We will call him the Nagoon.
We're going to call him Mushy later.
What do we have here?
There's a smile that crosses the fishman's face, and you can't tell what the birdman is thinking.
Humble servants.
Humble servants, are you? Where's your holy symbol right now?
He's wearing like 2 big items of Fell Gods, so he has it accessible to cast with.
Just holding it in his hand.
His bling bling right here.
He swears he would be able to grab it.
This is the first day I see him.
I don't know this guy.
I don't know this asshole from on the ground.
Explain yourself.
When there is weakness, we arrived.
Was I talking to you? I'll get to the Earth Temple in a moment. You, explain.
I arrived with the curate of the Earth Temple. We were attacked by the Fire Temple and slew the leader in defense.
Why are you here?
The robes looked nice.
Kind of wish you'd taken deception out, haven't you?
I will get back to you in a moment. He takes a stride down in front of Crusher. He seems very, very like stern, militaristic, like a drill sergeant chewing out the new recruits.
Like the directing traffic and all the,
Marty, with knowledge, with lore warfare, can I behave properly with this? Like, can I get some kind of, if there's a roll, a bonus to my roll, because I understand how hierarchy and how responses should go back and forth between.
Sure.
It's like knowledge nobility, but for the army.
First, give me Alkur, give me a deception. The reason why you came here was not for fancy robes. At least that was not the primary, secondary, or tertiary concern.
All right. So if I spend a hero point before I roll,
I believe you get a +4.
Maybe you should just use the right tone, like, we came here for the evil.
I think we're just gonna roll the die and hope for a 20, because that's really the only thing that'll say
this Etten has no longer felt the need to kneel and is just sort of lingering behind and waiting for almost like instructions.
Alkur wants nice robes, and 4-year-olds believe him.
A 10, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's like, I'll be back with you in a second.
Oh, you beat me. Perfect.
You, curate.
Yes.
You wear the curate's robes, but I do not know your name.
Crusher of Bones.
Crusher of Bones. Not very original, is it?
It's descriptive more than anything else.
Why are you here?
I heard there was an Earth Temple here. And Crusher, if you would allow me, he takes a step back and gets into his Earth stance.
Okay, you're standing up. He seems
if you will allow me, he'll like bow back, like bow behind and stand in his Earth stance. This is Earth, and I will command it. And then he gets out of it and kneels again and steps in.
Okay, give me your you could either make an athletics check, as you're kind of showing you how mighty you are, or you could make your lower military check. This is to...
Can I add them?
No.
I'll go with athletics then.
Okay. You're like, I'm mighty. That's why I'm here.
Fuck.
All right, I will give you a +1 to your deception.
Better than Alkur's.
Hey, so you want me to do a deception? All right,
yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, +1. Oh yeah, 7. What he said.
Oh my god.
This is going to
We're
go
here to
down as one
fight
of
and
those
steal
don't
your
pretend
shit.
to be the curate during the festival. What's wrong with you?
He looks at the two of you, and the two of you arrive together.
Of course.
The gargoyles climb down. You can hear them clinking behind them and kind of like sensing that there might be violence just a word away. The Etten does walk over and is now kind of swinging his clubs lazily and sneering at you with both of his faces.
Yes.
So the rest of us are pretty close to the door.
You guys are lingering outside, waiting? You're like, holy shit, there's a lot
Realize
of...
if there's violence, it's going to sound like this.
Sounds like it went well.
Oh no!
Tell me again why you came to the temple. And he turns back to Alkur.
We came for the evil. There was a challenge.
In search of power and evil.
And you heard about a temple of earth. How did you hear about it? What drew you here?
I heard about it from the ramblings of a madman. It turns out not to be so mad.
And you, Crusher of Bone, how did you hear about the Temple of Earth?
Same man.
Did this man have a name? Anyone I might know?
What the hell was that guy's name? Ahmed does not remember, because I don't sleep enough.
Okay.
But the guy that we captured and sent to the guy that we fought at the
The Moat House?
The moto?
pirate
Not the pirate, it's the guy who was telling us the future.
the guy in the basement that we grabbed and sent to the insane place. Him. He's wearing gold armor. Can't remember. Can't remember what I had for breakfast. God damn it. Wait.
So,
Notes. Nope. I have warfare notes about places that can be defended.
where did I stick that?
You give me an in check?
Yeah, sure. 1d20 plus 1.
It's Lareth the Beautiful.
Yep. Yeah, you remember Lareth the Beautiful?
Laros.
Lareth the Beautiful. Oh,
And the two of you say it at the same time. He seems annoyed at that, but the answer mollifies him slightly. He walks over to the air priest, and then looks at Canon Belsorig.
What brought the two of you to this temple?
Ah, we heard the temple's call. I heard the temple's call.
Why did you start from the left?
He's saying it like he already they knew, like they're trying to teach you the proper answer.
Which is what with the other crazy people were saying. They were like, the temple's gonna... You know, all the gnolls and shit were saying that.
Canon Belsorig, do you have any of the divine juice?
Ah, yes, I always carry some on me.
Give me 2 vials.
I don't want to drink this man's juice.
Ah, yes, here you go.
And he produces from the folds of his robes 2 vials that clink with, the sound of fate. Clink, and are placed inside of Bacchanal's hand.
So here's when we're supposed to have the finger thing. We're supposed to be wearing the finger thing.
Add level to everything. There's no getting around this asshole.
He hands out 1 vial and hands it to Alkur.
Hold this before you.
This is divinity. And then he turns to Crusher. Hold this before you. This is divinity. If you did not hear the temple's call, but have come here for your own personal ambitions, know that in a few moments you will do even better than hear the temple's call. You will be the temple.
Crusher's thinking, perhaps, what's his name? Ptolemy should be here.
Now, on the pain of disfigurement and death, drink.
Oh, Crusher just puts the vial in his mouth, crushes it, and drinks.
You're chewing the vial down?
Oh. It's gonna hurt on the way out.
Okay.
Blood.
He's like looking directly at your mouth and sees you cutting your tongue in your mouth with the vial and sees liquid kind of like dribbling out.
I don't have like sleight of hand or anything. I've got stealth.
He adds level, dude. You're fucked.
Well, sleight of hand is thievery.
Right. What would trying to pretend to drink while Crusher is distracting him by crushing the thing? I go, but I don't want to do deception. I want to be like,
kind of like over your shoulder. Kind of. I think this is thievery, man.
Question. What about medicine?
what?
Medicine. Maybe, I don't know, snort it into your freaking nasal cavities and keep it there for a while.
I prefer to take this rectally.
All right.
Just don't clench.
That's funny right there.
All right. I'm mostly delaying. I'm stalling.
Chris is just looking at you like, Chris is like, the fuck is I don't need any more disfigurement, so.
All right. We are going to.
Crusher already seems to be reacting to this, and he's kind of like falling off to the side, and looks like he's in some sort of mental anguish.
It's the glass mostly.
Why the fuck did I chew glass?
Why would
What was I thinking?
I thought that would look really cool.
All right, we're going to.
Cast bark skin before I poop.
I don't have thievery. I just have stealth and nerd. Can I nerd my way out of this? I don't think so. Okay, we're going to go on a wacky adventure because we're gonna drink the thing.
Drink the juice, baby.
I hope you guys are ready to be burned by. I don't know what happens.
Fucking
on Earth.
Halloween.
Okay, so Alkur drinks the stuff.
Remember all that healing you used to get? Not anymore.
Okay, given that you like delayed for a long period of time, his mailed hand does go like grab out at your chin and like holds your face up. Swallow.
Ahmed.
I good.
Oh yeah, this juice is wrong. It is like some heady alcoholic substance that is mixed with. Well, the first part it smelled like gym sock, and it tastes even worse.
Can I grant myself Diviner's Insight?
What does that mean?
Single action spell that lets me roll twice and then take that d20 because maybe I'll get a 20 on a save versus a thing.
Well, it's already in your mouth. Does this have a verbal component?
That's what the hero points are for, big guy.
I think the answer is yes, though. Fuck! I could spin it at him because that could be fun, getting all disfigured and stuff.
Yeah, it's the death part that you're probably not going to be good with.
No. Okay, I drink the stuff.
Okay, both of you need to make a fortitude save.
Yeah. Fuck. All right. I'd like. How much?
And
What's
yes,
the bonus?
it is a verbal.
What's a bonus if I want to use a hero point?
Plus 4.
Hmm.
The DC of this is very high.
So you're looking for a 20, so you save the hero point for after the roll.
Yep. Crusher.
Hey,
Yep, he's
Foxfire.
using a hero point.
Okay, Crusher, apparently allowing it to flow into his bloodstream was also very bad, and he
Yeah,
is
good times.
he is off to the side.
Wait, I'm using a hero point, big guy. Marty, hero point.
Oh, to re-roll?
Oh, fuck!
I'm going to save my hero point, hoping that this wasn't just you got auto-gibbed by the room. Hopefully this isn't Marty signaling that, I'm done with this Pathfinder 2 thing. Let's get back to the circus. The circus that was mentioned is actually the dreaded circus campaign. Just being like, that's what we're doing on Saturday.
All right, cool. All right, yeah, 24 is a fail.
17 is a fail, obviously.
17 is a fail. In fact,
Critical fail.
both of them are critical fails.
The 24 is a critical fail?
24 is a critical fail.
I also mega failed. I don't know. The double super critical fail.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
We just drank, like, demon seed. We
How did
drank
you get
pumpkin
this?
seed. Literally, this is what we did.
With no chaser.
We should probably leave them here. And they're all kind of chuckling as they're leaving. The two of you, first, the effect that's going to last for a long time is you're all enfeebled 1, slowed 1, and clumsy 1.
Oh my gosh.
Good time.
The man in the black armor just seems to linger for a while. He just sort of like goes north, almost like he's acting like a guard for the Supreme Commander, who is lingering somewhere near the dais that you guys have not, and the throne that you guys did not check out on your way in.
I will see you at the circus.
Are you going to the circus this time?
Well, what worse can happen to me?
Water temple rules is what he whispers to Alkur. He's just like, ah! Alkur's having violent spasms on the ground. The
I
prefect.
have an irrational hatred of the fishman. Oh no! It's working.
The hall is quickly emptying of danger. You guys see on the outside the creepy wizard person who just simply, once he reaches the outside, just sort of flies away, kind of into the masses. You don't see Bone Crusher and Alkur leaving.
Maybe we'll just kind of peek through the door and see what the hell's going on.
Yeah, the two of them are writhing around on the ground. They look like they're in horrible pain.
Fucked up. Not good. Hurry over.
Yeah.
Well, Alkur, you sense that there is a member of the collective. Like, you hear murmurs, muttering, and out of the many murmurs and muttering, you actually hear someone in a lot of pain, and you actually recognize in your head that you've got some sort of connection to Crusher. Crusher, same thing. There's somebody writhing around in pain amongst the multitude. We're talking like maybe 20 other voices whispering amongst themselves.
You know your mouth hurts because you chewed glass, you moron.
Okay, well your body is too like taut right now as you're having a conniption, but you yell that out in your head, and you actually can, Crusher, you hear what Alkur yells.
He's trying to swat at him.
You're frothing at the mouth, and you actually can like sense a presence in your mind, Bone Crusher, that is Alkur. And Alkur is like a shrieking banshee of an elven presence, and then Crusher is like this this dying, wounded mountain of a presence in your mind.
The other 20 presences is fish guts one of them?
It's hard to tell at this point in time. It's a new experience. You can give me a flat wisdom, int, or charisma check.
All right, we're gonna do a wisdom check. Can I concentrate on the wisdom check, or is it? I don't think I can. 12.
The other whispers, you can kind of get with your 12 that they are mildly curious about who you are and are sort of staying back in the. They're staying far back on the fringes.
Alkur's going to try to focus on like steadying his mind.
Okay. You're kind of trying to divorce your body from your mind. And Crusher, what are you trying to do?
I mean, go mind over matter, mind over pain. Kind of
Okay.
what a monk does.
Yep.
So, Fort, what do you want me to roll? Wisdom check?
I want you to roll a int, wisdom, or charisma check.
I don't recommend charisma. Probably not it.
7.
Okay, the two of you haven't been able to successfully get a hold of yourselves, but you do feel a very dark presence spreading into your mind. It is like, at first, feels like the way static on a TV might feel if that was crawling across your mind, but then begins to get sharper, like each of the small pixels of black was a pin in the top of your head. No, not a pin. There's too much organization to it, like a centipede crawling across the top of your brain. And then you hear, through the static and the pain, a forceful and actually, quite human voice. It is female, and I'm just going to move your token somewhere so we can have a dreamscape sequence. What level? I'm going to do this on the conversation layer.
This is all your fault.
You're the one who wanted to be a curate.
Let's go to the circus. I'll go to the circus.
Okay, the two of you are floating in, well, you remember what stars are. It just feels like you're floating in space. There are umbilical cords attached to your bodies that stretch to infinity before you. And you look at your own flesh and you see that your flesh is regenerating as quickly as this weird substance is eating it away. This is the agony of your body transported into this place, or perhaps your minds. Both of you are reeling. You can kind of see each other, but you haven't got enough control to actually have a conversation yet. You don't know where the tendrils are going. They just seem to go off, like I said, into infinity, but you do see that there is this form coming from infinity, at first a speck, but rapidly coming your way.
Are the umbilical cords going towards that thing or somewhere else?
It's hard to tell. They're sort of spiraling off into different directions.
Darkness and
Yep.
stuff. Yeah.
This thing that is approaching looks like, as it's moving, it's decomposing, but it is also regenerating as it's moving, and there's this comet-like trail that she is leaving behind her.
Darkness, imprisoning me. Absolute
It's like
I cannot
fucking
live, I cannot
Spainy,
die. Trapped in my
Spainy.
cell. Body by holding cell. Oh god.
Strangle her with my umbilical cord.
What the hell?
Well, if it isn't my favorite Galeria nights again.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
Galarian.
Galarian?
Wait,
Uh,
that's the world you're from. Oh, Alkur, I've missed your embrace. And Crusher, oh, how we've remade your name so many times as I've ground you to meal. Do you like what I've done with the place? She says the place is like this empty star field and this weird like comet trail. You get a sense that you're all kind of moving at some inexplicable speed, all kind of at the same speed, like the stars are kind of going by a little bit, and some of them are moving and some of them are not. Like you're covering vast distances at once.
It's a little sparse.
Oh, how bored I am of having the same conversation over and over with the two of you.
Why don't you just go ahead and kill your fucking self?
Or better yet, give us back our past memories, and then we could skip to new conversations.
It's not my choice what they've done to you.
Who's they?
The lords above and below. The ones that rule this cube.
How do we short-circuit their game?
Well, they keep on sending you and a bunch of others against me. Well, for the first, I don't know, several hundred years I found it amusing. Now, it is getting on my nerves. You're like a recurring dream. A boring one. But yes, Crusher. Nail on the head as always, but then again, you are always playing the hammer. I will have to die. But through my death, glorious rebirth. She grows into this horrible, pulsating green Alkur. You've got some semblance of like astronomical kind of like concepts because of your training. You think she turned herself into a comet, and the comet begins to split.
Is
And-
this the Doom Comet that killed, like, Faroon?
Galarian is not Faroon, so you have no idea.
But Adam is still Adam.
The comet split, and they have this weird trail of dust behind them. This green, glowy dust. In a moment, it's all kind of gone, and your guys are back together. Still traveling at a great speed. A tentacle wraps around Alkur and pulls you close, and a tentacle wraps around Bone Crusher and pulls him close. Now, what would you know about dying, my sweets?
Apparently we've done it more than you. So I know a lot more.
Well, it would likely take a sage to let us know how many deaths I have versus yours. I am a demoness. After all, a demon queen with aspects a many.
Do you know who is part of this game and who is not?
My love. Oh, my love. He hasn't been here in a long time. I fear the worst.
who is your love?
Oh, come now. Oh, this is early in this iteration, isn't it? So much you don't know. Exciting. So early that I have 2 new disciples with which to perhaps even strike back at those that sent you. So few of us left, I suppose. So
Who are the ones that
few of us left. Which means that this and that, and she kind of points at like a nebula and a bunch of fucking stars and this weird black swirly thing that seems to be eating everything. This and that and this is all ready. It's so right. Like an unplowed field. How the wheel turns, and that wheel, part of a larger one, and then a larger one, and a larger one, and then the biggest one of them all. And you two sweets are going to help me. You're going to free me, and then the wrath. I care not which devils and hags and fiends have kept me here. They're all going to be consumed. They will all be energy for my plan.
The stones that are in our chests, the ones that collect our souls.
Yes.
That is fell magic.
Precious, aren't they?
trick to bring us back.
Oh, but don't you want to be there at the reseeding of creation? Creation.
Will you bring about the reseeding of creation?
Well, everything's all getting all weird at this point in time as the two of you are like, kind of puking out your gut.
Shadow slapping
Yeah.
shit out of them.
Well, have you guys snuck back into the temple? That communication happened over like 30 seconds. That whole scene. What are the guys doing? Like, so you glance back into the temple. Mark said that some of his characters were.
Yeah, we're gonna.
We're gonna go-
We're gonna check up on them.
Yep. Sorry, Mark. One of your characters was not forced to drink the goo.
Oh, I know. It's a
If we
shame,
were a
but-
little bit more efficient in our attacking, we could have had 3 different temples we could have had to be.
All right. Okay. So there's the group of you that are kind of looking back in. Who is looking back in? Krieger.
Krieger's like, oh, we better go help them because they don't look good.
Oh, there's a bunch of doppelgangers apparently. Let's release the doppelgangers.
Woo, double characters.
Yeah, Krieger cut it. Oh, let's go help him. You do see that there is a figure there. He is facing the opposite way, slowly walking to the head of the temple. Let's get the temple main floor.
He's not gonna run or he's gonna like fast walk over.
Yeah. Okay. So you're fast walking over. Is anyone joining Krieger?
Yeah,
Oscar
Derek.
will
I
go.
Where's Crusher? Where's Shadow?
Yeah, I think the party's wandering
yeah,
over.
the party's going over.
Maybe we could beat up that guy. And then you could pretend to be the high guard of the temple. Just wear his horns as a hat.
All right, so there's
There you go.
a group of you that's kind of wandering over. Yeah, it looks like there's something wrong with them physically. They do look like Crusher. Crusher looks like his snot is got like flecks of yellow stuff in it, similar to what you've seen on some of the bodies. And Alkur looks like he's got like yellow powder all over his lips. Crusher's also got blood pouring out of his mouth, as it looks like he's chewed on glass. There is a unstoppered bottle with the cork lying beside it, with kind of like it seemed to dry out like very quickly, like the liquid evaporated very quickly for some reason. And there's like lots of like fuzzy yellow stuff along the ground. It looks like the two of them have been poisoned, to be honest, or drugged, or both.
Oh crap! So Krieger go pick up Crusher. Like he's picking him up by like the belt.
Yep. Gonna.
We gotta get these guys somewhere.
Okay. Crusher's is able to. At this point in time, you are enfeebled 1, clumsy 1, and slowed 1.
That's -1 on all strength stuff, -1 on -1 action, and -1 to all things.
Clumsy gives you -1 to hit, -1 to AC.
Okay. Slowed is -1 action, and then enfeebled I think is strength damage, or is it con damage?
Okay. Ptolemy's like, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? He's looking at Alkur.
We pick them up.
First thing we do is we don't panic. And the second thing we do is Oscar starts taking off their weapons.
Yeah, Shadow
The second
come
thing
here.
we do is, and then just in case.
Shadow starts pulling the glass out of Crusher's mouth.
I know how to make Alkur ineffective, and he takes Alkur's holy symbol away, and then he takes his spell component pouch away. Now it's just the verbal spells we have to look out for. He has a handkerchief, he stuffs the handkerchief in Alkur's mouth. There you go, buddy. Crusher and Alkur at this point in time can be helped to their feet.
Okay, we help them to their feet.
That was unpleasant.
Let's just take them back down under. I don't think they're going to enjoy the circus.
Well, we could lose them in the circus.
I mean, like lose them, or like lose them.
We could try to get back to our to the carriage. It's not far.
And
We
the
can't.
people below.
We can't leave the people below.
Tommy's like doesn't want to have the argument, but
How many hit dice do civilians have? I think 0.
yeah, like 1. I'm
They-
treating them like they have 1.
So
They-
if
They'd have their racial, I think that's it.
if I was to follow the leader with them, they'd have a +2 stealth.
I've been treating them like they're 1 hit die somethings, and I
So
gave them
+3
6 hit
stealth.
points,
Or
and
+4 stealth. With,
yeah,
with
yeah.
Oscar now being like a master of stealth.
Yep.
That's not great.
Maybe with all the wagons and people out there, they won't notice our carriage riding up to here, and we could put a bunch of them into the wagon, so we can get the fuck out of here.
Maybe if we get them costumes.
Oh yes, we'll beat up a couple of gnolls for the costumes.
I'm okay with that.
We'll find some more bags.
Yeah. Let's see what the Earth soldiers are wearing.
Okay, so you guys go to the edge again. Give me perception checks. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to look at your perceptions. You do... So I'm going to first move all the guys that I've got on the main floor map into the big mess that is on the exterior.
If you help chaos defeat law, does that make you good? If you help law defeat chaos, does that make you good? If you help evil be evil.
Oh,
that
he's
makes you
talking
evil.
nonsense now.
No, we don't know enough. And then he like points to his bind and goes like,
Here, his lordship said you have to chew on this. He stuffs the rag back in Alkur's mouth.
Okay, what you see joining the exterior, kind of cutting through the weird grove, is a group of thugs and people from the tower. You do see that there are some very angry-looking dogs that are amongst them.
Are there any Nobians?
There could be. Like I said, there's at least 100 people from Nulb, as part of the caravan. Their tokens are not on the map. And there's a there's a veritable tent city that is being spread about, and you do see that 2 of the trolls are looking at a flyer.
What are the Nubians? What are the Nubians wearing?
Some of them look like they're leftover pirates. Some of them are just townsfolk. A lot of them look like they're there to move stuff around and to act as the labor. Others are in charge of moving carts of goods. They don't seem to be wearing a lot of costumes. There is a cart, however, kind of further into this mess that is that does look like they've got people lined up outside to get costumes, like funny hats and robes and masks and things. Like some of the people from Null brought costumes.
Okay.
And there's a surprising joviality amongst all of the humanoids that have gathered at this place.
Let's go get ourselves some costumes.
Agreed.
Okay, I'm gonna move.
I think Oscar should be in charge of this one. Someone with an
I'm gonna
actual.
go get me some pasta.
All right, so I'm gonna move you from the main floor to the
You
exterior.
have a layer of chocolate. They're gonna put a layer of pasta on top.
Okay,
Best way to get healthy.
there are two trolls that just discard the pamphlet, and it's sort of fluttering in the wind.
I'll Curl grab the pamphlet. Try to.
Okay, yeah. Clumsily tell me, would you like some help with this? And he picks up the. It says, "Come one, come all to the Grand Bhaali Circus."
You spelled Bali?
Bali.
No, it's not that. It's got an H, couple A's.
Oh. Creative writing.
Well, this sounds fun. There's some weird, like, in the background, there seems to be a skull with a bunch of teardrops around it, kind of faded into the background of the pamphlet, and there's some, like, well, it's claiming that they have things like amazing shows in the big tent and see the freaks of the sideshow. And
Oh, we all know that's the main show right there.
eat your heart out, swinomancer cooks. And there's another one that says get your fortunes told by the three or Mistress Fortuna. There's some weird, like, caricatures of people in skull masks, and there is a like stamp. The stamp looks odd. The whole thing looks like it screams odd. Ptolemy's just gawking at it. Are we going here? Are we going here? Tell us we're going to the Grand Bhaali Circus. I don't know what it is, but it sounds wonderful.
Once we rescue your people, we will take you to the circus. You can have no more than 2 candies, though, otherwise you're going to vomit all over yourself again.
Yes, and my teeth will rot out of my skull.
Right, and you're There's no way to eat your meat. How are you going to eat your possum with no teeth?
Impossible.
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 My lord.
Although you could chew it for me like a mother bird.
That is not.
Yes,
right.
So it is possum.
It is possum.
It's possum. Tommy seems to be in a good mood, despite the fact that there are like 8 trolls kind of like angrily jostling for some what looks like human meat. They've decided to stop for a snack.
Let's just walk along trying to get Darian not being like, oh, they're evil. Let's.
Darian is staring holes in everything around him right now.
Good thing we got that mask on. Oh.
All right, when you guys get to the main road, you see that it looks like the Earth Temple is dragging your where is your your carriage. Your carriage seems to have a bunch of gnolls and Earth Temple folks kind of hanging off of it, and it looks like they're looking at your stuff, like they found your belongings. A creature that looks like a mangy lion with wings and a big spiked tail lands angrily beside the noble carriage, and you can see it arguing with some of the earth temples. I need to find this token. There's so many on the map. And this freaks out the horses. At this point, some of the gnolls are taking the horses off the noble carriage, and the horrid manticore is scared off some of the earth temple soldiers, kind of like claiming that the noble carriage is his.
I'm pretty certain that the noble carriage is the earth curates.
Oh, we're going in.
We're gonna, Oscar's, dude, gotta hurry up.
Yeah.
Our stuff.
We're walking in.
I want the funny hat! No, I get the funny hat! There's a bunch of ogres fighting over the funny hat.
Earth Temple Army.
Okay, well, over there. Some smart wolf growls at your wolf as you're walking by, and that's when Shadow sees them. 2 female and 3 male, dressed in light leather armor and perhaps like no armor and clothes in some places. They are in full hybrid form, but there is a small pack of werewolves that are standing amongst the horrible crowds from the Temple of Elemental Evil.
Cool.
Okay,
Cool.
you don't break ranks.
No, not yet. They said they'd fucking kill me.
Some new management. Oh. A very rakish-looking woman with a long, thin blade and a wide-brimmed hat kind of approaches your group.
She's so fucking badass. Oh, Marty, why do you do this to me?
She kind of tips her hat to the group of you. She notices that you're kind of carrying the Earth Curate and the Fire Prelate, and she kind of cocks her head off to the side, and she actually boldly steps forward.
First day's a bitch, isn't it?
Is there a problem here?
Yes, you're standing in our way. Move it.
Okay, give me a coercion from the paladin.
$35.
No need to be touchy.
When I get touchy, you'll regret it.
She takes a good look at your knight. She does notice the sword that is at his scabbard and just sort of like bows and backs off. You have a feeling that that is not the last time you've seen her. As you guys are,
I have a feeling it's not the first time I've seen her.
And the presence of the Earth Curate, not being a dwarf, seems to get many of the Temple of Earth guards' attention, and pretty soon there is a huge crowd of people that are gathered around. They're half brandishing their weapons, half leaning on them, as they seem to be confused. And let me see if I can find some leadership here. There's a war captain.
Let me know whose guys have to cut the liver out of.
Okay, well, there's one war captain that comes forward. You also see that there is a pirate that you think you recognize from a previous fight talking to another war captain.
Uh-oh, this could be bad.
Can't fight today.
This guy has not reacted. This guy has not reacted.
So
He's
can fight Earth.
He's just sitting on the horse, kind of chatting with the war captain.
That's right. It's a truce.
It's a truce. That doesn't mean we can't have our internal squabbles.
We can have an internal squabble. Yes.
Don't think for a moment that Earth Temple can take my prize.
This mangy, smelly creature kind of lurches forward.
It was Earth Temples to start with, you mangy animal.
Prove it. I see no signs. I see no markings. This was hidden outside the temple.
It was hidden over there, by the trees, blah, 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 blah.
Crusher mentions exactly where it was.
Then why wasn't it in the Earth Temple? It is mine by right.
It's ours.
Darian's gonna pull his blade.
Okay.
Crusher gets it to Earth Elemental stance.